President Trump told reporters that he has a team of lawyers who are crafting an executive order that will pave the way for the elimination of mail-in voting. His remarks follow a social media post that he put out on Monday stating that he's going to be leading a movement to get rid of mail-in ballots as part of his effort to bring honesty into the 2026 midterm elections. Well, the big question that's floating around is whether or not an executive order can accomplish what the president is aiming to do. And is this even the best way to approach the entire issue? Well, joining me now to discuss this is certainly one of my heroes as it relates to election integrity. Cleta Mitchell is the senior legal fellow at the Conservative Partnership Institute, as well as the founder of the Election Integrity Network. Cleta, welcome back. Good to see you.
Great to see you, Jody.
Okay, I want to start with this. President Trump has now said multiple times that mail-in voting is corrupt. So lay out for us just what are the major issues, the major problems with mail-in voting.
This is one of those where to begin. Let's start with the fact that what began as a way to help people be able to vote who were going to be out of the jurisdiction on election day, or they did not have, maybe they were in the hospital, et cetera. So what began as a way to assist those people who needed help because they couldn't go to the polls in person has become a nightmare. And that's truly what it is. It is a nightmare. And anyone who thinks that you vote by mail and everything's fine, you would be shocked. This is one of those things where if you watched how many people touch your ballot, how people have to determine whether, when they get the ballot, and they decide whether they have to discern whether or not who you voted for. How about all of this ballot curing we've heard about? Well, that's where you have perfect strangers who are taking your mail ballot. It goes on for days and sometimes weeks in some states, where they are calling people to say, hey, you forgot to sign this, or hey, you made a mistake, saying, can you come and cure your ballot so it can be counted? And how about the fact that there's very little verification of the identity of the person who is actually submitting the ballot? I call signature verification an oxymoron, like friendly divorce, because there's really, a signature does not verify anything. And so this universal vote by mail is a nightmare. There's no way to secure the vote. There was a report today in the New York Post about a Michigan city council member who was depositing a whole batch of absentee ballots in a drop box. There's video footage of him. So he's basically stuffing the ballot box for his reelection. And here's the most important thing, Jody. We, over the years, over the century of the last century, there were all of these safeguards built into protecting the voter, such as the secret ballot. Well, if you're not voting in the polling place, there's no way to protect the secret ballot. What if you have an abusive husband, or you have somebody who's an operative, a political operative, who's going around and threatening people? You know, I'm going to watch you vote. You're going to give me your vote to make sure that you vote who I tell you to. There's no secret ballot protection in mail-in ballots. And there's no protection from under pressure. There's no protection from, you have that, you can't politic within so many feet of the polls. We all know that. Well, that's all gone when you don't vote in person. If you make a mistake and spoil your ballot, that always happens, often happens. There's nobody to help you. So it is time. The president is 100% right. And the main thing that he said is he's going to start a movement. And I think that is the most important thing, because he will raise the issue and give us a chance to talk about all the problems, because all we've heard is from the left saying it's great.
Let me ask you this. The Constitution clearly gives each state the right to manage its own elections. So many right now are questioning what, if anything, the president can actually do through an executive order. So we've just got a little over a minute left. Lay that out for us. Can the president do what he's proposing?
I don't think the president can order through executive order that we just get rid of no excuse absentee voting. But there's a lot the president can do. And I think that starting the movement is important. But let's just remember one thing. There are 5 federal statutes that really dictate how our federal elections are conducted. And what has happened for over 30 years is that federal government and Congress have really written the laws that govern the biggest part of our elections. It's why we register to vote at the driver's license agency. The DMV is now, or the DDS in Georgia, is now the biggest precinct in America. So we must recognize that Congress has broken our elections in a lot of ways, and Congress needs to fix it. And that's what the Election Integrity Network, by the way, Jody, that's what we're working on, is we are going to publish the model policies. We have the Citizens Elections Bill of Rights that calls for an end to universal absentee voting and mail voting. And so people can go to our website, www.electionintegritynetwork.org. But no, the president doesn't have the power to wave a wand and fix everything. But what he has done is through his leadership and his public statements, it gives us the opportunity to move into that and say, okay, here's how we do this. It's going to take legislation to make it happen.
Well, starting the movement is huge. The voice of the people can be a magic wand. Cleta Mitchell, thank you so much for joining us, Election Integrity Network. We appreciate all you do.